What's up, nerds? Find out who's a cigar nerd and who's a cigar snob in this edition of the Dad Smoking Cigars podcast. Hello. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Dad Smoking Cigars podcast. With you, as always, is your host. That's me, Kyle D. Garrett. Thank you for tuning in. And the Dad Smoking Cigars podcast is sponsored by Casa Cuevas Cigars, from our Casa to yours, and Pariah Cigars. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. An interesting month. It's been a fun month. It's been a good month, I think. There's been a lot of good things happening. The month's not over yet. I still have some fun stuff and celebrations and whatnot to look forward to with my family and all that kind of stuff. And because there's a bunch of May babies crammed into this month, not just me, it's also my wife, it's my sister-in-law, it is a bunch of my, I think a few of my cousins, my aunt. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a celebratory thing happening here at the end of the month, and I'm excited about it. I mean, why wouldn't I be? It's going to be fun, and more to the point, it's going to be over at my dad's, so you know it's going to be a good time. But in the opening, I said we are going to find out who are the cigar nerds and the cigar snobs, and I honestly think it's pretty simple. I'm a nerd in many facets. I'm a nerd, I'm a geek, I'm a dork. I mean, I like a bunch of pop culture shit. I love superhero stuff. I have movie trivia and useless information in here for days. And so, I mean, you really could classify me, and I probably have at least 2 or 3 classifications of nerdiness. And I think being a cigar nerd is one of them. Like, what's a cigar nerd? I mean, I never even heard that before. And to be honest, I don't think I've actually really heard it from anybody that I know of. I'm just kind of coming up with it myself. In order to describe what I'm going to describe, simply put, a cigar nerd is somebody who gets excited about cigars, but not merely that. A cigar nerd is somebody who gets geeks out over cigars. Somebody who is excited for that next cigar brand or cigar line, looking for obscure cigar brands and manufacturers that they may not be the most popular brands, but they're hidden gems. And me being the boutique cigar enthusiast that I am, I geek out, I nerd out over new cigar brands, smaller cigar brands. I mean, I love and enjoy a number of pretty popular cigar brands, brands like Drew Estate, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, AJ Fernandez, and stuff like that. I enjoy those brands, but honestly, I love the little guys. I love the smaller boutique brands. I get excited about them. I like to seek them out. I like to find as many as I can. I love to connect with them. They tend to be some of the most amazing, generous, and kind souls that I've ever encountered in the cigar community, because they're making their way in the world. They're making their way in the cigar industry, and they are coming up with a product, and they've put their whole heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears into the development of their cigars, their product, and the results, more often than not, are fantastic. I have my preferences, of course. There's some boutique cigar brands that I've enjoyed, but they're not ones that I go back to extremely often. And then there's my usual go-tos, obviously Casa Cuevas being one of them, even before they sponsor this channel. And there are a ton of others that I could mention, and you've seen me smoke a lot of them on this channel, on my other socials and things like that. But I just started getting really passionate and enthusiastic about this stuff, because I love the fact that there are everyday people who love cigars so much that they don't just merely want to consume them, they want to make them, they want to blend them, they want to get them created and out to market for people to enjoy. I think that's fantastic. There's a part of me that thought to myself, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if I want to do that, and I don't think I do. It sounds cool. Maybe if I get the chance, I'll create a cigar with a brand and stuff like that, and I can come up with a name for it. That would be, I think, a cool bucket list thing. But I'm a cigar nerd through and through, and I'm pretty sure based on my description of what a cigar nerd is, I know that there are a lot of you out there who are just realizing right now, or you've always known, but you didn't have a phrase or a label to put on it, and you're probably all thinking, oh yeah, I am definitely a cigar nerd. Definitely cigar nerd. Cigar nerds have their favorites, their go-tos that they smoke all the time, but they're still seeking out new cigars and getting excited about new cigars, and especially if they get to hang out with and talk with the manufacturers. I mean, that's honestly one of my favorite things to do. I love chatting with and connecting with people who own cigar brands, or they're the ones who are in charge of getting those cigars made. I love talking with them because their stories are always very interesting, and how they came to create their own brand. I mean, it's no small feat. It's not something that is easily done, and yet they did it. And yeah, they're not raking in millions of dollars, but they're doing what they love, and they are loving every minute of it. And you know what? I can't blame them for that. I mean, that is one of the coolest things I think ever, to be able to come up with your own cigars. I am always looking for that next cigar to smoke, something to try, something different, something I've never had before, because it not only is a new experience, but it also expands my palate and what I like and what I want to try and things like that. I've tried so many different cigars, and I just want to keep trying more. And then there's the snobs. Now, I think we've all encountered some form of snobbery at some point or another. We have interacted with individuals who, they seem nice enough, but then you start talking to them, and next thing you know, they're going on and on and on about how much they know about cigars, or one particular brand of cigars, or how there's only certain brands that I will smoke, and they're my favorite, and I won't smoke anything else. I mean, I doubt they talk like that, but you get where I'm going. There's an arrogance about them. There's delusions of grandeur, or maybe, there is grandeur in their life. Maybe they make a lot of money, and maybe because they make a lot of money, or they have disposable income, they like to purchase really expensive cigars. No judgment if you've got the disposable income, like if you have what they call fuck you money, which I doubt many of us have. More power to you if you have the ability to purchase really expensive name brand cigars. I have nothing against that. If you've got the money, if you can afford it, and it's not going to break your bank or put a hole in your wallet, then yeah, by all means, buy away. But please, for everyone's sake, don't act like you're better than anyone or the person sitting next to you who's smoking less expensive cigars, because one, most of us cannot afford expensive cigars. It is a occasional luxury that we might get to enjoy. I've smoked Davidoff before, well, one Davidoff. I've smoked Arturo Fuente. I have smoked, big name brands that, tend to charge a little bit more for their cigars depending on which cigar, which line that you're trying to smoke. I mean, it's insane to me though how there's certain cigars that are kind of considered the lower end, and then there are the higher end cigars, and in truth, and this isn't the case all the time, they taste exactly the same, and yet you're paying maybe $20 more for the one that has the nicer label and is advertised as one of their best, the super premium of their brand, the creme de la creme. And it's the one that you ought to smoke at least once in your lifetime. But I digress. People who smoke those brands sometimes, not always, but sometimes they'll act like they're a little bit better. And when you ask, hey, have you tried this? And they're like, no, I only smoke these cigars. Are you kidding me? Why would I smoke anything else? I don't know. Why does anyone try anything? Oh, yeah, so they can try new shit. I mean, would you want to eat the same damn thing over and over every day? I mean, some of you don't answer that, because there are some people who, this is gonna sound mean, but who are so fucking basic that they would be okay eating the same damn thing every day, or at least, several times a week. We all have go-to foods and snacks and stuff like that, but I like to kind of diversify. I like to try and especially when I'm going to a new restaurant, or especially if I'm going to a different country or somewhere where the food and the cuisine is different than where I am. Like here in Southern California, I honestly think Southern California has the best Mexican food. I mean, there is that, but then again, I'm biased. I've lived in Southern California my entire life, and I know what's crap Mexican food, and I know what's really good Mexican food. I mean, you can tell depending on where you go what is really good and what is really shitty Mexican food that was most likely done by white folks. But if I'm gonna go to, like, maybe say the South, Louisiana, and if I'm gonna go to New Orleans, I'm going to try me some gumbo. I'm going to try me some crawfish. I'm going to have me some fried catfish. I don't give a fuck. Because you know what? Life is too short to not try new things. And if you don't like it, you don't have to have it again. That is one of the beautiful parts about living. But you know how it can be. There are people who are like, I only eat at this one restaurant because it's my favorite restaurant. And it's the only restaurant that has, in my opinion, any good food. I will not eat anywhere else. I will not eat that, crap over there, blah, 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 blah. This is the best food ever. And, anyone who's not eating here is an idiot or something. But at the same time, it's just like, I understand we have our favorite places and joints and stuff like that. But, I mean, come on, get out there, explore, try something new, try something different. I remember before a trip to Spain, well over a decade ago, I went to a tapas restaurant. I have to be careful how I say that, because when I say tapas, like an over enunciation, because I remember, like, I went to a tapas bar. You're like, you went to a topless bar? No, tapas. Before going on a trip to Spain, I went to a tapas bar, and anyone who has had tapas knows that it's excellent. If it's done right, it's excellent, and it's just, small plates of food delivered to your table and things like that. Different, it's almost like appetizers, but it's not. You're eating little dishes of food all throughout, and you just order several, and everybody shares from it. It's a fun experience, but it was an experience I never had, and I tried it. I really liked it. When I went to Spain, I knew what to expect, what I was in for, and I loved it. And I'm not gonna go to a different country and not try the local cuisine. I mean, that's just dumb. Sorry if I'm stepping on your toes. I know we like what we like here in our, in the United States and stuff like that. And sometimes going to another country, there's a little bit of culture shock depending on where you go. But I mean, for goodness sakes, you're gonna want to try something different. You want to try something new. While you're there, sample what's good. Sample what's recommended. If they say don't drink the water, don't drink the water. But try the food. The same thing goes for cigars. And I know I've met people who were like, I met a guy some years ago, when I used to work at this cigar lounge out in Fullerton, which is a town here in Southern California. And this guy told me that he only smokes Padrones. Now, don't get me wrong, Padron is an excellent brand, especially some of their more limited cigars. Whether it's the 1962 or something. There's something. There's 1964. There's the 1926, which is I've heard a fantastic cigar. I haven't had it, but I've heard that it's really good. Padron is a brand that has been around for a very long time. It's what you would probably call a heritage brand. And you know what? If I could afford to buy Padrones on a fairly regular basis, I probably would, but it still would not be the only cigar I smoked. Why? Because there's so many fucking cigars out there to try. Why would I only limit myself to one? Now, there's a difference between, like, somebody who's a snob who think, like, those are the only good cigars to smoke, and why would you smoke anything else, and you are just so silly for smoking something different, as opposed to somebody who's like, I just like this one brand. I really don't want to try anything else because this one has treated me so well over the years. I've always had a good experience, so I don't want to smoke anything else. Okay, fine, suit yourself. But as I've said many, many times, don't be a dick about it, okay? The don't be a dick policy has been in existence since the dawn of time, and it has been labeled in different ways, but the whole concept is to not be a dick. And unfortunately, there's one too many dicks out there who just act like, they're snobs. They're snobs for sure. And depending on how much time you spend with them, they can kind of dampen your enthusiasm, because especially if you're new to smoking cigars and you want to smoke what's good, you know, you might be hanging out with people who smoke these really well-known, popular, and expensive brands. And because, you know, maybe you want to impress them, or maybe not, or you just want to try cigars, and so you try those, you'll like them, a little bit out of your price range and your budget, but you still smoke them because, well, I mean, you want to smoke the best cigars around, right? And this friend that you have, this person you know, told you, oh, these are the best cigars in the world and you shouldn't smoke anything else. I tell you, you should not smoke anything else. And I don't know what this voice is, but it's the one I'm using. You know, I've had moments like that where I was just like, you know, I listened to people who said, like, you should smoke this, and this other brand, you shouldn't smoke that. You're not gonna, you know, they're not as good as this brand over here. And it's just like, I understand that they have their preferences and they have what they enjoy, but at the same time, it's like, well, I might like that though. If I try it, I might like it. So I think I'm going to. And I'm just like, no, I don't know, man. I think they suck. And it's like, okay, that's fine, but you don't hold a monopoly on what's good, buddy. It's all about discovery. It's all about discovery of what you like and what you don't like. Cigar nerds are on a continuous journey, or maybe you call ourselves cigar explorers, or some shit like that. No, let's go back to saying cigar nerds. Sounds better. Where are my nerds at? They're everywhere. I know this. They're everywhere. You're watching right now. My cigar nerds. And I love all of you, because you guys get excited about new cigars, trying different ones. I mean, like me, those of us who are very much a fan of boutique cigars, we like to search for boutique cigars, those obscure ones that maybe no one has ever heard of, or very few people have heard of, and you know, they are a new brand, or just they haven't gotten off the ground yet. I love discovering boutique cigar brands, smaller brands, when they're just getting started, because I like to kind of be there and watch them grow and try their product and say, hey, I've tried this, you should try it because it's really good. It's a brand new cigar brand. Go check them out. I love doing that. I get excited about it. I'm passionate about it. It's fun, goddammit. And, you know, we really should branch out, explore, discover, and I mean, really, there's nothing quite like it. It is just, I mean, yeah, there's only so many different ways you can blend cigars, but I honestly believe and feel that each different brand has something about their cigars that is different from any other brand that maybe blended it similarly. They just put their own personal touch and spin on it. And you know what? A lot of cigars will have similar flavors, but I don't think that any one cigar is like another, even if it's blended with the same kind of tobacco. I mean, everybody does things differently, but again, it's a journey of discovery, and it's fun, and I love it. I love going to events, and I love going to cut and lights, and I love, you know, talking with people and like to say, hey, have you heard of this brand? No, I haven't. Tell me about it. Is it good? Oh, it's so great. You should go pick up cigars. In fact, I have a couple with me right now. Here, take one. I love that, just because it's an excitement. It is like a childlike excitement, and it really gets you going. I mean, I nerd out over new cigar brands. I geek out over it. So I am a cigar nerd through and through. I will never think myself better, I mean, or worse than anyone, but definitely not better than anyone, because I smoke a certain brand. It's just never been my style, and it's not a really attractive style, if I'm being 100% honest. Smoke what you want, but don't be I mean, I've said this in so many videos, don't be a dick, don't be a snob, don't act like you're better, just smoke what you like and let everybody else smoke what they like. Let people enjoy things. For the love of all things sacred, let people enjoy things, because there is nothing worse than someone who likes to fuck with everyone else's enjoyment. Sorry, I got a little intense there. Yeah, but I'm a cigar nerd. I get excited about this stuff. So what are you? A cigar nerd or a cigar snob? I seriously doubt somebody who is a snob would admit it. But then again, I mean, weirder things have happened. Let me know what you think you are in the comments below. I think that's a good place to put a pin in it. I think I've said everything I need to say, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had a great time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. If you haven't subscribed, Please do subscribe. I put out a new video every week, sometimes a couple videos depending. I really do appreciate your support. Be sure to like this video, share it with someone you think might enjoy it, and yeah, please comment. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. I love engaging and talking with you guys. It's so much fun for me, so let's start a conversation. That's all for me, guys. Thank you so much again for tuning in. I hope you guys are doing fantastic, staying healthy and safe, keeping it smoky as always, and of course, I will catch you guys in the next one.